thrilled to have Devajit Malik with us today. He is a software engineer at P360, specializing in front-end web development. With over 2 years of experience, Devajit have made a significant impact in the tech community as an organizer at GDG Siliguri and a LinkedIn top voice for web development in 2024. His contribution to the tech world, including mentorship and speaking at various events, showcase his expertise and passion for his sharing knowledge. So, to sorry, so to all the participants, get ready to gain some valuable insights and sharpen your front-end skills. This is a great opportunity for someone who has truly excelled in this field. Without further ado, please join me welcoming our speaker Devajit Mandi. Let's break the ice. So, Devajit, can you introduce yourself and share some bit of
Yeah,
experience?
sure. So, hi Deepak and hi Boardcraft community. So, it's a pleasure for me to be a part of today's event. Hi everyone. Myself, Devjit Malik. I am currently working as a software engineer at P360. So, I am professionally working at front end like more of like 2.5 years to 3 years right now, and like doing other things also side by side. So today I will be sharing my insights on front end. Like if you have any questions, you can put that into the chat, and like we'll have a conversation over that rather than like a boring session. Okay. So I think that will be part of today's session.
So, with a welcome, I have some questions for Devajit. So, what's the buzz about? Can you explain what front end is in simple terms?
Okay. So let's make it like a little more engaging in this answer. Like, can you guys please like raise your hands if you like know what front end is? Like basic idea, like what front end is. Just raise your hand. I will not pick you up like, okay, you need to answer things, like just basic things. Like, okay, like we got a way, like many people know this. Right. Yeah. So the basic funda is like if you are in like first year or a fresher, front end is basically like whenever you see in, and there is one gotcha that I want to tell you. Many people like is their front end is also for mobile also. So I am not much part of that mobile app development part. So I am morely talking about the web. Okay. So if you see any web application like you are daily using Netflix, Amazon Prime, all those things, right? So whatever you see like right now on the screen, that is the bare minimum that we can say that is the front end part. And all the logic, right? All like the Netflix video that you are seeing right now, those things are stored in the backend. So that part where the data is stored, where the logics are there, complex logics are there, those are thing will be in the backend. And front end has its own problems, but it's like basically the design part that you see in the screen.
Okay. Next is everyone has this question where to start, how to start. Can you suggest how to start and where to start this content?
Yeah. So that see, there is no like hard and fast rule how to start it, but like there are some of the things like if you let's say want to start algebra, right? You need to know basic things. So same thing is happened that I think someone's voice is echoing right now.
Arnav, can you please turn off your camera and mic?
Oh, sorry, extremely sorry.
So yeah, it was like so the basic funda is like if you are like want to start right, then the starting point should be there are some things like if you want to start algebra, right, you need to know the basic of numbers and all those things. Same way, like if you want to learn front end, there are three basics that you cannot like neglect: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And if you are telling me like how much time I should invest in this, I will tell as much as possible because the three like if you whenever you go like get a like if you are asking anyone who is right now given interviews right for like maybe a fresher role front end developer or maybe a 2 plus or 3 plus year of experience, they all will say the same thing like you they will check your JavaScript skill, they will check your like how you know HTML CSS works and how the web works. So it's better to invest time in those things. But yeah, let's say if you are telling me like, okay, I want to learn the whole part of HTML, CSS, that's still not possible. So better part will be like if you are trying to start with some projects. So let's say, to give you context, let's say like maybe your friend has a shop, right? Maybe so just make a website for them, right? That is your beginning starting point. And for making that website, whenever you will start, you will just learn the things like whatever is needed, right? If you want to like set a link, just see how to set a link in HTML, right? And day by day, as the time increases, you will understand like okay how things work, right? And as the time increases, you will learn those three things. I can say like HTML, CSS, you can learn maybe like in a week or 2 weeks basics, right? And start building projects, because until you will build the project, you will not understand like how things work. Later point of time, if you when you start JavaScript, there is a big gap between like learning basic JavaScript and when you are starting the DOM manipulation and all the doing the front end operation stuff. That I will tell like right now I also feel like most of the people lacking this part, like learn DOM manipulation properly, like how to manipulate a DOM. Let's say try to build a simple to-do application using JavaScript. Try to build a TikTok or any kind of application using JavaScript. When you are doing that, you will understand like okay how logic work or how the DOM tree work. And when you are good at it, like let's say you made a 3 or 4 projects in there, now you can start with frameworks, right? Right now you have React, you have Vue, you have Angular, you have Next.js. Start with any one of them, okay, that will be fine. React is right now the most trendy one. You can also start with Vue, Angular, that also fine. And later point of time, as the time grows, you need to explore more stuff. So that is the bare minimum you can start these 4 things.
Right. My next question is, what is your secret sauce? That what motivates you to choose as a front end developer, or what motivates you to become a front end developer?
Okay. For me, there is like if you are asking this to any of the developers who is right now working for like 2 to 3 years, mostly like they have everyone has a different story, because like everyone have different experiences altogether. For me, like when I joined college, I explore a lot of stuff on my time. Like AI is the like right now the AI is something like people are adapting a lot on that time. Like it's pretty famous also. So on that time, I was also more interested in those stuff. So I have tried Android, I have tried like machine learning stuff, data analytics stuff, blockchain stuff. And later point of time, after certain point of time, I started also front end. I liked it. So after like experimenting with lot of stuff, finally that is the stuff that I like, because the most of the if you are asking for this front end developer, the most convenient reason is because whenever you do some changes, you can see it on the screen, right? If you are doing backend and other stuff, you mostly don't so like able to see that. So that is the like most you can say motivating factor for me to choose front end development. Yeah.
Now, can you just say to viewers what is a typical day of yours as a front end developer?
Yeah, it's a pretty good question. Like, okay, let's say if you want to choose front end development right now, what a typical day of a front end developer is. I just like can give you some caution that if you are someone that who is thinking, because like that I face a lot when I mentor people also, like they have this thing in mind that okay, if I'm choosing front end, then I need to just write HTML, CSS, and those stuff. That is the biggest mistake you are doing right now. Because whenever you see, if you are asking me this question, like maybe 5 10 year ago, that time front end is all about mostly HTML, CSS, and back end is the part where the logics will be there. But right now things are pretty different. We handle a lot of logic in front end. There are a lot of complexities there. There are a lot of rendering strategies there. So it's right now pretty difficult to handle. After like if the my point is like if you are choosing front end, do it because maybe you like it. If you're choosing it because maybe it's something that okay I just it's easy, right? If you're thinking, then once you start JavaScript, you will understand it's not easy. There are a lot of gotchas are there. The typical day, if you are asking me, it's mostly like you need to work on Figma files. That is one part of thing. Another thing is like if you are asking me this as a front end developer, also this day differs. Okay, for me, if it's if you are asking, I work less on designing stuff. I mostly work on the logic part, state management, API integration, all those stuff. That is like mostly what I am working on right now. But for different people is different. In front end also it's like in medical, right, we have different branches. In front end also we have lot of branches. Some people are UI developer, so in many companies this role also differ. You have UI developer and a front end developer. So UI developer are the people who mostly work on components. Okay. So they basically take the Figma file, design the components, and build stuff around that. And like front end developer are those people who mostly work on logic. For me, it's mostly I work on logic part. But yeah, that differ basically based on your experience.
That's quite a hectic day actually.
Yeah.
And like, next question is: if there's any tips for our listeners to how to stand out or how to shine their profile among the crowd?
Yeah, right now it's pretty necessary, right? If you are thinking like, okay, like I will build that same e-commerce application or same chat application, that will not work out in right now. Because right now, right, the hirings are different. People want more from your profile. What I can suggest is first clear your basic build projects. What you can do is to stand out your profile. There are multiple ways. I can tell you. So maybe for someone, it's basically projects, right? Okay, they are making cool projects, different type of things they are trying. Like maybe they are trying different type of front end applications. Also, they are trying to build. That is one way of doing thing and share those projects. That is one way of doing. Second type of is like open source contribution. If you are able to do that, it's pretty great. Right now, also Hacktoberfest came up this October only. Like you can try this out. It's like beginners also can try out. Learn basic GitHub, learn basic any language, and you can start it out. Okay, that is maybe your entry point to open source. Another way is maybe you can try hackathons. Like for me, it works really well for hackathons. Right now, most people don't do that, but I am suggesting you if you are able to do that, try to do that. That because you need to code for 24 hours, 36 hours. You can go and they will give you any ideas or anything, any problem statement they will give you, and you need to build projects around that. That is something that really helps. I can tell hackathons is a great way. And other than that, you can try to write blogs. Right, whenever you're learning things, you can write blog. These are some of the things that will help your profile to shine. Because, like, see, if you are building that same two projects, right, or three projects, right now everyone knows, right? They will go to YouTube, copy the same project. So that will not work out till right now. So you can try this out to like make you as an exceptional front-end developer. And one thing, like if you are a front-end developer, one thing like I think so, it's not maybe necessary, but I think it's necessary is like build your own portfolio. If you don't have a portfolio side, my first question will be like, okay, you are a front-end developer, you are applying for a job, and why don't you have only your website, right? So build a portfolio first. That is a good thing to start also.
Okay. As you just talk about AI, that this is an AI era is going on. It's still the front end is the same way, or it's like making some sense, or it's going in a different field now.
See, if you are asking me like this AI thing, right? Okay, yeah. The thing is like, if you are telling me that okay, this thing right now is buzzing a lot, right? That okay, is AI will take our jobs or not? See, we don't know what the future lies for us, but what I can say is, as per my experience, also like whenever I had this conversation with my seniors, also senior engineers, also they will tell the same that it's basically if you are seeing that what AI is doing right now, the basic thing is whenever like let's say as a developer, right, the front end developer, now I want to focus on my logic part, right? I don't want to invest too much time on my designing stuff and like that, right? What AI is doing right now is it will help me to do that basic design. So the problem right now is if you are someone that you are copying from ChatGPT or anything, that's okay. But the problem is you need to know the code. Otherwise, you are not able to modify the code. Because if you see, Stack Overflow is also there, right? Previously, on that time also people say, right, that what software engineers are doing, they are just copying the things from Stack Overflow. That is not the case, right? The problem is whenever you're copying a stuff, it's basically a piece of the puzzle. Now you need to fit that in your ecosystem because you have a different scenario and you have a different stuff, right? So you need to fit that in your project. Now that for that to understand like okay how to read the code, how to understand the code, where I need to make changes, right? That is a different thing that will come as experience. So yeah, if you are asking me like for if you are doing basic front end development, like if you are just making simple pages, you are not writing complex things, you are not building complex applications on that type of thing, yeah, I can say like maybe after some years, yeah, it will replace you because it's like if you're doing pretty easy stuff, right? I can like write it to chat GPT and chat GPT will give me, right? That is pretty easy. But like let's say if you are saying me, okay, can uh, chat GPT give me build me a full-fledged application like Flipkart or Amazon? It's not possible because whatever code that like whenever we building stuff in real world, if you have experience, you will understand that if you are working for clients, they change the requirements every day. So you cannot build something like okay, yeah, I will build my project today and later point I can tell them okay, change my project. It's not possible. Okay, so uh, if you are doing complex stuff, for you, you are actually safe, I can say. And if you are doing very pretty basic stuff, then I think it's not only like for front end only. If you are for any domain and you are doing very basic stuff, then anyway, like maybe after 5 or 10 years, you will be replaced, right? That's the way how things work.
So some people are in danger. Their jobs are in
Yeah.
danger.
So see, it's, I can say not in danger because see, like the point is, if you are telling me like 3 years ago, right? So there is build e-commerce application. On that time, it's complicated, right? You don't have a lot of resources. You don't have the CI tools, right? Now if I tell you like build a e-commerce application, you can just ask to ChatGPT or any AI tool, and that will like help you to build that in 2 days or 3 days, right? You can build that. Previously, it will take like literally a month to build those whole things, right? So the time also decreases, right? So if the time decreases, then also you need to invest your time to do complicated things, right? That is the basic purpose of AI. I think that whatever that is the monotonous task, put it onto AI. Whatever the complicated task, take it in your hand and just solve it. That is how things work.
Can it be possible in the future to like merge both of things, front end and an AI? We can sprinkle the both and work together.
Yeah, like see, like if you are asking me a question, something like that, that okay, how I can integrate that AI into my as a like developer, as a front end developer in my life. So yeah, we also use that thing a lot. Like if you are asking me, whenever I build projects, I also ask ChatGPT to like, okay, give me the context of like how I can, what are the architecture that I can try it out for this project, right? That also something that we can do as a front end developer to try it out. Mostly what you can do is that I told already, right? The basic purpose of a like for you should be that whatever that is monotonous task, put the design and put the basic things to ChatGPT or AI thing, and whatever the main development work or main complicated development work, try to do that by yourself. Now, if you're asking me like, okay, then already AI is there, then why you need that thing, right? Why you may be required to do that? The problem is, let's say if you are if you have seen, right, whenever we go into any construction sites, right, all the machines are running there, but why people are there? People are there to monitor the stuff. If you are someone, uh, like AI is there, but the problem is you also need someone to control that AI, right? That is where we comes up, and we understand like okay how to handle that thing. And if you are asking me as a fresher that okay how to build a chat application, I will tell okay do this stuff. But as experience you will understand there is no right or wrong answer. There is a problem, I can solve it 10 different ways. Now the problem is I need to understand what situation I am currently in, what architecture I am currently in, and based on that I need to take decision. So once you decide that fact that okay this is the path I am going to take in that path, whatever that is easy, put that into AI, do that automation stuff, and whatever it's complicated, do it by yourself. That is how you can integrate AI in your workplace.
There is like there are many in the sessions like are there from first year or second year, maybe some are third year. Third year somewhat they also start in the third year starting, some students. So
Yeah.
what can you give as a tip to them? Give what should they do, like how they start? Because some lack the motivation or some they think kar lega bro, but they don't. Some are like this. So what
Yeah.
they should do?
See, like what I can say is, see, there is nothing like I have mostly worked on front end. I liked it. It's not about the domain. Whatever you choose, understand the stuff. Like I think the best way to motivate yourself is building projects, and not building the projects what those YouTuber will tell you. Build a project that you like, right? Let's say, to give you some context. Let's say maybe uh, you have, like, you are someone who love games, right? You are playing a lot of games. Now try to build something like that. Or maybe you have this thing that, okay, I want to, like, calculate my expenses, right? Now for that mostly we use streetwise and all those stuff, right? Try to build an application like that. That is something that will motivate you. Now the problem is, if you are trying to build something for me, that will something not motivate you a lot, right? So when you are trying to build something for yourself, it will automatically create a motivation. Second thing is, that motivation is, right now you need to understand that, okay, now previously, so if you're asking me the job market right now, right? Job market right now is not, I can say, down. It's more about like stable. 2021 and 2022 start was pretty havoc. Like on that time, people are getting a lot of jobs. Whatever they are asking money, companies are paying them. That was the time was happening. Right now, what is happening? That software engineer was like normal, like right now they have jobs, but it's like normal line they are having. Now the problem is, if you are in this era now, everyone has access of YouTube, so you need to understand, like, okay, how I can plan my journey as a developer, right? Now what you can do is, you can, like, segregate your time, and don't put like, I need to do 8 hours of coding. Just make a habit of 2 hours of coding per day. I say this to everyone whom I mentor, that if you are planning that, okay, like मैं 4 दिन coding नहीं करूँगा, one day I will do 8 hours of coding, that will never work. Because the problem is, whenever you join into any organization, you need to work for 8 hours. That is the problem. And if you are not making a habit right now, when you will join an organization, that will be a little problematic for you also. That, okay, I like, how to sit for a like 6 hour, 5 hour, right? So make a habit of it right now. That is one of the things. Second thing is, build your own passion project. That is the best thing you can do to motivate yourself. Participate in hackathons. Build your own side hustle. Maybe you can think of, in when you are in college, you can think of starting a startup, right? Build a simple application by yourself only. So, and you can try it out, right? You can do something like that to motivate yourself.
So basically, consistency is one of the important key. You should be consistent throughout the event.
Sure, sure. Consistency is the main key. Like for any line, same as software development, you need to be consistent.
So if anyone has the question, you can write in the chat box. We will answer it. Devajit will answer it accordingly if anyone has the question. So this was the like a proper front end part, like how a front end works, how a front end developer works in a day. There are some myths or facts where like most of the statements are heard about the front end. There are some myth, there are some true. So I'll ask some questions, quick questions, just answer and review on it. Okay.
Sure.
The first question is front end development really the easy way out?
That is the, like, yeah, I know, like, this question was around a lot, that, okay, front end is easy, front end is very much. The thing is, like, see, when you were starting as a fresher, when you were just learning HTML, CSS, that time you feel like front end is easy. Once you go in depth, now you would see a lot of things. Like, once you go on, like, when you were just started learning JavaScript only, after you started giving interviews, you will understand, like, okay, there are a lot of tricks in JavaScript. Then once you start React, and they will see, okay, I have started React. Now there are a lot of gotchas in React, and then there is Next.js is there, there is Vue there, Angular there, lot of frameworks are there. Once you started learning about REST APIs in front end, then you have like WebSockets, GraphQL, and then there are like gRPC. There are a lot of stuff are there. So if you're asking me, it's a easy thing. I can just give you one task. Just take 30 days, learn it, and you will understand the pain. Right? It's not a easy stuff, because see, previously we are handling it in backend fully. Right now there are a lot of logic. Front end has its own gotchas, own cons, also pros also. So I can say, like, it's so that's why previously, if you see previous point of time, this thing also happened. If you are asking someone like 10 year 15 year ago, there was a salary difference between front end and back end developer. That time this thing was a real thing, that front end developers get less amount of salary and back end developers got more. But right now, if you're asking anyone, most of the time companies pay same, because both have their own complications, right? It's not easy. Previously, if the page takes 10 seconds to load, people will not make an issue. If you are right now getting 3 seconds, it's an issue. It's a proper issue, right? So that you need to think about it. So yeah, it's not a easy stuff, I can say for sure.
It's just a myth.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
not.
proper meet.
Next question is, does React or Angular write my code for me? Like this, the frameworks don't need to understand code with logic. Does they directly react write the
That
code?
is, I think, right now the biggest problem. My case also, like when I go for like taking any interviews and stuff, also that most of the people don't have basics of JavaScript. See, the problem is why now you may ask like, okay, if you are joining a company, they will give me to write code in React, Angular, or Vue, right? Then why I need like to learn so much JavaScript? The problem is whatever you are learning this React, Angular, Vue, you are learning it for yourself. You need to understand this thing. It is for the developer, not for the browser. If you are going to any browser only understand HTML, CSS, JavaScript. When you are talking about the developer, what developer for developer, it's easy to understand. On that time, it's mostly React, Tailwind, CSS, Bootstrap, all those stuff. This is for our convenience, right? Now the problem with thing is like, let's say today one company it's working in React, right? Later point of time they found like, okay, we have some problem in React. Now we want to switch into Angular, right? Now what we tell that if you are a JS developer, if you know if you have very solid JavaScript understanding, you can switch between frameworks very easily. Like I also have tried Vue a lot of time. React also I have tried a lot. The switching between both of them is pretty easy if you have a good JavaScript skill. But let's say if you're someone who doesn't know like how JS works, then for you it takes a lot of time, and that is the biggest problem. That's why every time you go, if you are going for a 5 year senior interview also for front end role, there is a dedicated round which is only for JavaScript. They will ask you like really one questions on JavaScript, so you need to be good at it.
Okay. Next is a very question that I personally heard in a many times. Does I need to be a good designer or good need a good drawing skills to be a front end developer? Like
No, that is one of the stuff that people got confused of. Uh, you don't need to be a designer or like good at drawing to understand those things. The thing is, see, what happened is normally like if you are someone who is not from a good design background or someone, you can start front end easily because see, you need to understand the job of front end developer is to not build design are built by designers. Your task is to
okay,
replicate that design and make it into a product, actual product. It's not like you are designing stuff, right? There are hard designs out there. Let's say if you're asking, okay, I want to build my own project, then on that time, what I can do? Simple thing, you can just go into Dribble or Behance, check the designs. Let's say you want to build an e-commerce. Check any e-commerce designs are there or not. Just take a design, build that application, right? And whoever's designs you are using, whenever you're posting that project on social media, give them a shout out because in that way they will be also benefited that okay, that person is using my design. Yeah, they are also telling like giving me shout outs also. That is a good thing. This is one way of doing the thing. But if you are asking me, this eye of design, there is something called we called as a eye of design. That okay, you understand that this is a good user experience, a bad user experience. That comes at the time, right? Okay, when you are keep building application, and second thing is you need to observe a lot. That I understand it a lot of time that you need to understand that okay how like Amazon and all those Flipkart those applications are like how the experience of their application, right? And you need to understand like to give you a context I'm giving you, if you see that Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, they all have same kind of flow. I'm not talking about the
okay,
design, the flow. If you see the list page is same type of they have when you go to the description page, you see same image, and here your bottom you have multiple images. When you click on one image, it will show that image in zoom view. Why products do that? Because whenever, let's say, I am a Flipkart user, maybe I have a bad experience with Flipkart. Now I want to switch into Amazon. Now the problem is, if the Amazon user experience is fully different from Flipkart, then I will not go to Amazon, right? Because
Hmm.
as a user, I want a easy thing, right? I don't want a complicated thing. That's why what happens is, most of the time you see these applications have similar interfaces. And once you understand, like, okay, how the like logic of those interfaces, how the flow of those interfaces, when once you start building a product, you will understand that how the user works, and this design, like eye of design, will come to you also. That you will understand what is a good design is, what is a bad design is. So it comes as a time, but yeah, if you want to start, you don't need to be like good in design or things. There are a lot of tools out there which will help you to pick the colors. There are Color Hunt, I think, is a great site I used a lot. You can pick colors from there. There are a lot of color palette there. Just use those things to like select the design.
There is a question in the chat from Avimanyu. Someone want to be a front-end developer and someone also want to be a back-end developer. Is this very tough to be both as a full-stack developer? And is it for you have deal both front and back also? And why do you choose only front-end instead of full-stack?
See, so the first thing is, I just want to clarify is, I am not actually, as if, when my career started, I'm not a front end developer. I am a full stack developer actually, because I started with full stack. I joined my first internship as a company. I worked there as a full stack engineer. I write APIs also a lot. In my personal projects also, I write a lot of APIs. The thing is, if you're asking me when I do professionally, so like if you ask any full stack developer also, they have a preference. Okay, it's not like that they are working 50-50. Most of the time, full stack developers, some full stack developer are like 60-70% of front end, and some percent is back end. For them, someone, it's like maybe 80-20, like 80 back end, 20 front end. So it differs. After doing full stack for a while, I understand like front end is the part where I feel more comfortable, and I liked it, and I want to explore it a lot. So I choose front end. And the thing is it hard? No, it's not hard. If you like know basics of front end and React, then you can jump into Node.js, because see, uh, you are only in JavaScript environment, right? So Node.js is also same your JavaScript. MongoDB, if you know good JSON structures, right? Good Node.js skills, you understand MongoDB is no time also. So it not take a lot of time to understand front end, back end. But yeah, after a certain point of time, you may have your own preferences that, okay, I want to choose this and that, and maybe you want to explore those stuff. You can do that. One thing I can say is that people have this misconception that, okay, if I'm a front end developer, I don't need to do, like, I don't need to understand backend. That is the biggest myth, I think. Because see, whenever, let's say, give you a context, let's say someone asks me, okay, build an application for like Spotify. I cannot say, right, that okay, I will just make a UI like and backend I don't know how it will manage. I don't say that, right? What you need to understand is how systems work. Maybe you don't know a lot of backend development, but basic should be required. So basic full stack development is something that I encourage all of you to learn. That is the basic thing. And now after that, you need to be good at something, right? So there is a one good term that I heard when I read a book, that T-shaped developer. What is the meaning of t-shirt developer is, if you see t, right, whatever, what is, it's a line, right? That means you need to know basics of every technology, most of the technologies. But you have big stand in t, right? The same thing is, you need to be good at one thing. So normally when you tell people, right, there is in other domains we tell, right, jack of all trade, master of none. But in software engineering, I think it's mostly, you should be jack of all trades and master of one. One should be your master point, but others thing also you should know. You cannot say like, okay, I don't know what AI is, right? You need to understand the basics, but later deep dive into it, it's up to you. So yeah, you can do that in full stack development.
Okay. There's another myth question or a fact. Like, will learning a full stack development help me become a better front end development?
For sure, that will be for sure because like whenever you understand full stack, see that's the thing right that I talked about right now. If you know full stack, whenever you're doing front end, you understand like okay how the backend developer stores the data and how he will give me in a format. So if you know basic development, anyone who done the development part already, they know right that whenever we are doing front end and back end, those both developers are communicating via APIs, right? Now, to understand like okay, how I need to consume that API, I need to also understand like how to how that API actually works in the logic part. If you understand that, you are building a better product. So you need to think of that point of view as your experience grows. You will understand that you need to think of a product point of view, not from a like single point of view that okay, I am doing the front end only and this people is doing on the back end only. You need to understand both of them, how the systems works. Your specialty should be in front end, but yeah, you need to know the front full stack if possible.
Okay. There is one more question. Like many, some do React, some do Vue, some do Angular. So what is like? Is there any battle between this, or which one is better, which one is worse?
If you are in like active in Twitter, then maybe you see that this thing happens. Like I'm active in Twitter, I saw this thing that React developers are bashing over Vue developers, Vue are bashing over Angular. This thing has happened. Like people sometimes got emotional on the technology preferences they are using in their day-to-day life. But if you are asking me, it's like there was one thing that I told many of my juniors that it's not about React versus Vue versus Angular. It's about React and Vue and Angular. So as your experience grows, you will understand that there is no battle between them. Each have their own use cases. See, simple answer to this question is: if let's say React is the best, right? Then why not every single company is using React? Why companies are there still using Angular? Same thing. Why same with Vue, right? There are a lot of good companies I know they are using Vue properly in their framework, right? And why they are choosing that? As you understand, or like over time, each have their own use case. Maybe I have a certain use case. In that certain use case, maybe React works best. If I choose that. Even right now this same thing is happening with Next.js. People are like the next developer, we are juniors people out there, they are like exploring Next.js and they are posting like okay, Next.js is the ultimate solution for all of that. When you ask the same thing to any senior engineers, I had a conversation with their this like big MNC people also. They are telling me the same answer that it's not the ultimate solution. They have also many caveats. Many scenarios are not fixed fit also in Next.js. So you need to understand that every framework works and every framework is there because of certain reason. Now, as your experience goes, you need to understand which one should I pick. For now, what you can do is whatever is easy for you and whatever is trendy right now, choose that. Like React is right now the most popular as a job perspective. You will get more jobs in React developer role. Choose it. It's okay. But once you get into a job, you need to explore other stuff also so that you will understand like okay how different systems work.
That's matlab, there is no battle between it.
No, so it's like basically between your use case, I can say.
Like in different area, different framework can work better way.
Yeah, because see, if the same thing was happen, that's my simple question. Whenever people ask me, that is my simple question: that why Angular still exists, why Vue still exists, if React is your ultimate solution, right? Why big MNCs? Those people are like pretty much like more experienced than us, right? Then why they are still choosing that? There may be some reason, right? That's why.
It's nice. As we heard also, you have mentored some teams, as well as you also a hackathon winner. You
Yeah.
were a hackathon winner in 2020 and mentored a team in 2022. Can you
Yeah.
share your experience over there also? Like how a hackathon was that?
That is like my experience of Smart India Hackathon 2020. On that time, like COVID was there, so we are basically working online in Smart India Hackathon. We never thought like we will win. 'Cause, like that is the truth most I can tell. Basically, uh, you need to like that. The thing that I can tell is, don't think about winning the hackathon. What you need to focus on is participate as much as you can, because see what is happen is, once you go in a hackathon, there is very time crunch. You will have into a time crunch. You will have very less time to waste. You only have maybe 24 hours, 36 hours, and you need to build that whole product, right? Now for that you need to explore a lot of stuff. On that time, what I can say is, when you start, don't think about winning a hackathon. Think about what I can do or what solution I can provide. Once you go into that hackathon, and you will understand that, okay, what are my problems and what are my benefits from that like product, whatever I'm doing right and whatever I'm doing wrong. Second thing is, that which helped me in this hackathon thing is build networks. So when you go into a hackathon, you got to meet a lot of new people, new folks are there. uh, those people will help you later point of time. Networking is something that is like very like invaluable. If you are telling me, only like doing good technical stuff will not help you over time. When you need things like referrals and all those stuff, networking is something that will help you a lot, and you will get a lot of opportunity for that. If you have a good networks, that will help you a lot over time. When you want to search for jobs or switch companies, that will help a lot. So yeah, that I can say, like, first start with uh, go into hackathons, build stuff. Now once you have a experience of 1 2 hackathons, you will understand, okay, how things work. Like what are the things that works in hackathon and doesn't work in hackathon, right? That also we understand. First, like, we have participated 1 2 hackathon, we got also rejected, we also failed, and then later point of time we understand, okay, these are some of the things we don't need to do in smart India hackathon, and then we progress like that only.
Okay. There is any questions from our viewers or the listeners? They can ask over here also. Let's wait for some minutes if they anyone have a question.
Sure.
The questions I prepared, that's almost an end because I have some curiosity questions about this myth and facts. Like some says these things. So what's an overview you can give? There are many statements you also heard sometimes. Some positive, some negative. The many statements you heard every day.
See, it's happened in every profession. If you go into
Yeah.
like a backend developer, they will also tell, okay, there are a lot of things. They like, if you go like, this thing has happened, like everyone, but you, what you need to understand is, over time you'll understand. Uh, Everyone is existed because of some reason. If you are telling me, see, I'm giving a simple example. Once you get into a job, you will see QA people, testing people, and like after you work some time, you may saw in Amazon those t-shirt, right? Developer and QA never be friends, stuff like that, and you will understand the meaning on that time, because there are a lot of drama between devs and QAs are happening every day. But the thing is, then if you're telling, okay, we don't need QA people, that is not the way things work, because developers work is to build stuff. We don't test stuff properly, right? uh, that it will work properly or not. That is where this few people lies. So every people has a job. There are reason why they have that job, right? So it's actually a whole system. So people will criticize it. It's anyway, that is how things work, right? Every people has their own preferences, and people will try to put you on those preferences, but you don't just neglect those things. That's the way.
So let it go on how it goes.
Yeah,
Some will speak something, some will don't.
that's the way how things work, right? You need to do your stuff only.
That's the point. I don't think anyone have some
Yeah,
questions.
also.
Does anyone have questions? We can ask. Like, see, there's a one more question.
Yes.
Some prefer like remote job. Some prefer like work from home, or some prefer work from the office, or some prefer the hybrid. So, what's your preference on it?
See, for me, though, I have mostly worked on like I have done work from home only. So for the past three companies I have worked on, I have done work from home. So that is something I have done. But yeah, I also want to right now thinking of like that's why I'm traveling right now. Sometimes go into different cities, working from there. So it's actually your preferences. Some people don't feel productive when you're like in work from home, so they prefer work from office. So it's because based on your own preferences. Nothing is bad, I think. It's like basically as your time goes, you will understand that okay, this is something that works for me and this is something that doesn't work for me. So you need to choose between both of them. I think we have a
Good
question that
question.
is a website design really that important for building? No, I am not saying that website design is necessary. You can build it by your own. Like that's why these CSS frameworks are out there. If you try it out, like there was Bootstrap out there, Tailwind out there, Material UI out there. Just take components from them because those components are created by proper designer. Bootstrap components are built by Twitter designer designers. Same thing for Material UI, Google designers build those. So just take those components and like put it in your website. That will like make it look beautiful. And if you don't want to make beautiful, that also works. But yeah, after certain point of time, you will get a hang of it. That how to design those.
Okay. So, any further questions?
Like,
Okay, there's one more
what are the
question.
biggest challenges you have faced as a front-end developer when biggest challenge I can say, as not as a front-end developer, but as a whole, any developer you will start, whenever you join in a company and you see the code base. That is the like most terrific part. And that time, though, that imposter syndrome kicks in. That okay, maybe software engineering is not for me. Same thing happened with me. Like when I started, first 3 days of my internship was like this software engineering is not for me because when you see that code base, you maybe right now writing like what 1,000 line of code are hardly, and suddenly you join a company, you see millions of line of code, and there are so much folders. You don't understand like okay, what these guys are doing, right? So same thing that you do in normal project. There are a lot of architectural difference and a lot of stuff. Like, that is the biggest challenge I can say when you join in any company that understand the code for the very first time. That is the biggest challenge that can beat any like other thing.
When you join a company, that is a challenge when you see the code base.
That is the yeah, because first time when you see the code basis of any company, because the thing is like there are million of people. So when I
Hmm.
was building a project, it's I am working on myself, or maybe my five friends are working on the same project, right? But here there are like hundreds of developers writing code on their own way. There are a lot of conventions you need to follow. So there are a lot of things that will you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we don't have any questions.
So, thank you, Devajit, for
Yeah.
such an insightful and engaging session. I'm sure everyone has gained valuable knowledge from this. For all the viewers or listeners, we hope this session has inspired you to continue learning and explore the world of web development. We, the Bold Cops, are thrilled to have you as a part of our community. And this was just the beginning of our first session. We will look forward to seeing you at the upcoming event. Now, as I said in the starting, there you have to perform some tasks to win amazing Amazon gift coupons. So I'll give you a just brief about the event, about the task. Here we will share a Google form. In the Google form, there will be a three sections. First, that contains some your basic details. The other section, the second section will contain some quiz on the basic front end part, and the third section will contain some tasks. Each section will give you some points. Completing each section will not only reinforce your learning, but increase your chances of winning. So we will be sharing the link just in a few minutes. And yeah, the event, the form you are filling, you should be in a meet. There is no chances that you leave the meet and you will win the prizes. You should be in the meet throughout the filling the form, performing the task.